It's time for Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
Knew it. This is Wretched Radio. You are the first to hear what I have known all along. The next president of the United States is going to be Dr. John MacArthur. That's right. Here's the deal. You see, this whole COVID thing and shutting down churches, that was done with some backdoor dealings so that churches could be shut down and the government's hand would look oppressive, so that Dr. John MacArthur, who's in cahoots with them, could emerge as a champion, defying the government, opening up church, worshiping the Lord on Sunday, so the president would call him. And on that conversation, even though it was reported that Donald Trump was just wink, wink, thanking him for defying the government and leading the way, that's code for you're going to be the next president. Mark my words. And if you don't think that's crazy, welcome to contemporary evangelical Christianity, where apparently all kinds of black helicopter theories, conspiracy theories abound. A lot. Are you familiar with a massive movement that appears to be sort of religious called QAnon? Q is a fellow, apparently in the military, and he's anonymous, don't you know? And this is a website and websites, it's proliferated, that have once been considered fringe are now becoming mainstream. And they are offering all kinds of conspiracy theories, mingled sometimes syncretistically with some Bible verses, to let people know what's really going on in the nation's capital. So, for instance, there are conspiracy theories like 5G radio waves are used for mind control, or George Floyd's murder is a hoax. Bill Gates related to the devil. Okay, so not all of them maybe are conspiracy. The mass can kill you. The germ theory isn't real. And there might be something to Pizzagate after all. And this movement is growing, and there are a number of evangelicals who appear to be buyers of what they're selling. Named after Q, who posts anonymously, hence QAnon. The online bulletin board, 4chan, I don't know how these things work. QAnon alleges that President Donald Trump and military officials are working to expose a deep state pedophile ring with links to Hollywood, the media, and the Democratic Party. Since its first mention some 3 years ago, the theory has drawn adherents looking for a clear way to explain recent disorienting global events. The world is confusing, and apparently people are reading these posts from Q Anonymous and other sources who have put together what we would call conspiracy theories to explain, aha, this is what's going on. And apparently evangelicals are not immune to their lure, and they're following it a lot. It is no longer fringe. This particular article says, with support from Trump and other elected officials, I don't know if that's accurate or not, it has gained credibility both on the web and in the offline world. I don't know what that is. But QAnon is more than a political ideology. It's a spiritual worldview that co-opts many Christian-sounding ideas to promote verifiably false claims about actual human beings. Now, this, by the way, was from Christian Headlines. QAnon has features of Christianity, using Bible verses to urge adherents to stand firm against evil elites. One charismatic church based in Indiana hosts 2-hour Sunday services showing how Bible prophecies confirm Q's messages. Its leaders tell the congregation to stop watching mainstream media, even the conservative ones, in favor of QAnon YouTube channels and the QMAP website. This appears to not be the first time that evangelicals tend to be, I think, a fertile field for conspiracy theories.
Well, if you use Bible verses, it's got to be true.
Well, that's the challenge to conspiracy theories, is that there can be some sort of truth, and they can't be so preposterous that they're just out of pocket, just out of hand dismissed. There's something inside of them that's probably true, but is the whole notion true? Is it all true? Is it something believable? And is it something that we should be spending time on? 5G networks caused the coronavirus And Tom Hanks became a Greek citizen recently because they think that maybe he and other celebrities are pedophiles. Just telling you what's going on. Q followers spread conspiracy theories such as John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive, Mother Teresa was a child trafficker, and Dr. Anthony Fauci is her son.
Just connecting the dots.
Well, there's a resemblance, you could say, but that doesn't mean nothing. The movement's prophecies come from an anonymous account, Q, presumed to be someone high up in the U.S. military intelligence who posts cryptic messages called Q drops. Not just about military intelligence, but it's about Satanism among celebrities and bloodletting of children, quoting the book of Revelation, emphasizing symbolism, noticing, for example, 17 boxes were sitting behind Trump in a press conference. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet.
Oh, boy.
Dun, dun, dun. So in researching this, I noticed something that was glaring and obvious. People were lamenting that there is not a lot of chatter going on out there in evangelical churches, blogs, posts, websites, radio programs. What is the problem with following these theories? Please note, I suspect there could be a little bit of, there's drips and drabs of truth in these things. In fact, let's just even say some of them, they're absolutely yes. But is there a problem for the evangelical in expending energy, emotional energy, mental energy, and time on conspiracy theories? I think there's a Bible verse that could help us a lot. 1 Timothy 1. It's interesting that Paul never really identifies what's in view when he talks about these arguments over genealogies. He says that there's people that are spending time talking about genealogies. Now, we speculate that it was like, hey, I'm descended from, he's descended from, your descent, but we don't really know for sure. Nevertheless, maybe that's why he kept it a bit cryptic so that it could apply to our context today. 1 Timothy 1, 3 through 7. I left Macedonia. People are teaching wrong doctrine. Don't let people waste time in endless speculation over myths and spiritual pedigrees. For these things only cause arguments. They don't actually help people. So these are idle speculations. These are time wasters because they really don't have any impact, any meaning. There's not much value to them, but people consume their day just fighting over these things. And Paul says, stop it. And I think that I would use that verse to take its lead to say, I think that's what we need to do with conspiracy theories. And I'd like to make the case why. What motivates an evangelical's interest in conspiracy theories? I get it. You know what I think a part of it is?
What's that?
This is just me. And I remember this specifically when Barack Obama became president. There were all kinds of theories going on about his private life, his dealings with, his connections to, and you'd hear them and it's like, yeah, good. Maybe he'll get out of the office. And it provided some hope, but it was all false in the end. And even if it was true, it came to nothing. But there's this desire, yeah, I need an explanation. I think fear is a motivator. I don't know what's going on. I need an explanation for stuff. I need to know the future is another motivator. And the answer to the desire to know the future is you don't need to. That's God's. Today's got enough worries of its own, said whom? I think this has a bit of a Gnostic element. I'm on the inside. See, I get what's going on. Other people don't. I think, and you can examine your own heart for this, because I will tell you, I've heard some of these theories and I've gone, really? In almost kind of a hopeful way, because it might bring somebody to an end that we don't particularly care for in power. Yeah, that seems to make sense. I like that idea. I get the appeal, but I wonder how much of it is gossip driven. How much of it is putting the worst construction and not the best construction on everything? How much of it is gotcha? That's it. Gotcha. I think that those are all of the things that motivate us to have a lure toward conspiracy theories. To hear these things, whether it's Alex Jones, whether it's QAnon, whoever the source happens to be, and I'm not trying to annoy anybody with this, I'm encouraging us to examine our hearts, because I think that Paul would say to us, these idle speculations, these things that burn up your time. Don't do it because they have a deleterious effect. They're not good for you. You're going to fight with one another over these things because ultimately I think the implication is you're never going to solve it. You're never going to get to the bottom of these things. Did we fake the moon landing? If we did, we're never going to find out about it. Or there'll always be so much controversy swirling, we're never going to know, and we didn't, by the way, but nevertheless. Let's examine our hearts and ask, what motivates my interest in these things? And if it contains any of those elements, fear, a desire to know the future, kind of a Gnostic interest, I like gossip, putting the worst construction on everything. It's finally an explanation that apparently the Bible doesn't have for what's going on in the world, that maybe, just maybe, we need to put an end to endless QAnon theories. This is Wretched Radio.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is